welcome back to Jungle Gap. Today we return with another episode of Inside the Mind of a Challenger Jungler. Well, we're going to be going through a game. I don't know if you guys have ever found yourself in this position here, but basically in a game where you really don't have teammates. You also have one teammate which is completely running it down. Mid Beast Fan 200. We're going to have to blame Mid Beast for this one. Playing small to top, running it down. I'm sure we've all had this kind of game before. And basically what I'm going to be trying to demonstrate through fundamentals, through the correct mindset, is how you can really keep your composure, how you can not overcompensate, keep your agency, kind of ride it out through a game like this and end up kind of having a 1v9 performance. I know that these kinds of games, even myself included, are very, very hard, right? You do have to go above and beyond. But I think what's really, really important is kind of like the mindset that you have, right? The mindset to stay composed, because eventually, you know, enemy team will make a mistake and that's when you can really, really capitalize. So what's up everyone? Coach Leo here. Quickly before the video begins, I wanted to share a quick announcement that I have joined the Jungle Academy. If you're not sure what it is, basically the Avengers of coaches have come together. You know, other jungle coaches such as Kirei, Perry Jungle, a few others have come together, and basically, you know, I wouldn't be trying to sell you guys on a product that I didn't really think was insane in terms of its value. But essentially, quickly wanted to go through some of the things that you can get by joining the Academy. The first thing is obviously a bunch of resources, you know, little exercises, things like that. You also have the VOD library, which all the VODs kind of get uploaded. So if you're ever wondering, oh, like, you know, how do I play Rengar? You know, I'm an Emerald player. I want to know how to play Rengar. You can just go on all of these and, you know, have a look at that. But the most important thing is obviously here in the calendar, which is the group coaching sessions. You're 100% guaranteed to have your VOD reviewed. And as you can see here, it's running daily sessions. Mine is, if you want to come to my sessions on Thursday, you can see here all the different coaches and which days they are coaching and the time zone. And so yeah, if this is something that interests you, link will be in the description below. I hope to see you guys all in the Jungle Academy. Let's get straight into it. I'm just going to be running through the game. We're going to go through rounds like general, like usual. And so let's just go through the pre-game plan. Now, nowadays, especially in games where scaling is, you know, kind of even, there's no scaling advantage. I really just liked having the idea of taking whatever objective is efficient for me. And this is something that recently I've been preaching in my coaching sessions. Yes, you still want to, for example, we have a small to this game, so taking dragons is very good, which I think is what I end up doing. But doing whatever is best for you, doing whatever is efficient for you, whether that's taking grubs, whether that's taking dragon, whether that's, you know, whatever it is, that should be your number one priority. Recently as well, I've been coaching and, you know, the word help has come up a lot. And especially in these kinds of games, you need to remove the H word from your vocabulary and from your mindset. Okay, we're not trying to help anyone. That will come up in this game. You know, you may feel sorry for Mid Beast Fan 200, but I can assure you that helping him is not going to obtain you victory. Okay, so pre-game plan. What I always ask, where can I get a kill? And very simply, this game, it's pretty obvious. I have really, really insane gank setup mid versus a melee champion which Dana. So let's actually go through the volatility, gank setup, and mobility. This is kind of how I categorize this question of where can I get a kill. So looking at it for top, volatility, it's a range versus melee. Darius does have a Doran shield, so I'm not expecting it to be very volatile. I'm expecting Smolder just to farm. You know, we did get the spoiler alert that he does go 0-8, so maybe it was volatile. But my thought process going into the game is that, you know, we're not trying to kill Ghost Flash Darius, right? So gang setup, no. Mobility, insane. Just a terrible, terrible lane to play around. So we're never going top, of course, unless it's a free kill. Mid lane, Ignite, Galio, insane gank setup, double melee. It's going to be volatile. Why do I know it's going to be volatile? Just from the rune setup, from the items, from the champions that they're playing. Not a lot of sustain, double melee, Ignite. You know, it's not like that. It's not like my Galio is running like a D shield. They're looking to trade, essentially. So that's what gives this a tick for volatility. My gank setup is really insane, right? So another tick there. And enemy's mobility, she has basically no mobility. She can't E backwards to her own minions. So a really, really good option for me to get myself ahead. Remember, guys, whenever we're talking about plans, we're always thinking what's best for us, not like what's best for Jimmy in the bot lane or, you know, mid-beast fan 200. And of course, bot lane as well. Really, really good. Same thing. Volatility. You know, it could be volatile. It could be just farming. I have a Nautilus. They have a Lulu. So this is another lane that I'm definitely going to want to be thinking about and playing about. All right, so let's get into it now. Let's watch. Let's see what I do. I have kind of skimmed through this game already. Obviously, I've got some talking points I want to talk about. I'm going to be commentating exactly what I'm trying to think here. Okay, obviously already I don't know what I was doing this game. Don't autopilot, just start. Don't autopilot and just sit here, okay? You want to sit here. I am versing an Ivan, so I don't really think he's going to be like late invading me or anything, but you know, it's about habits. So sit here. Don't do what I did. My Nautilus places a ward here, so I would always recommend you know, if I'm starting red buff this game, I want to try and get a ward here or here. In this case, my Nautilus did this for me, just in case Ivan was to do something like this, right? So starting on the red buff, because my options this game are going to be, obviously, this is the path I've chosen. I want to play around mid and bot. So what I'm really going to be looking to do is either look for a level 3 timing bot, or mid or bot, or just simply full clearing to bot. So that's kind of like my game plan. You know, general fundamentals, it is very, very important for tempo that you learn how to clear on your champion, right? So even just small things like, for example, here, just holding my Q, right, instead of using it and putting it on cooldown, allows me to line them up and just clear quicker, right? Another fundamental we're seeing here, I'm camera panning, right? And I'm giving myself updates on information, guys. Jungle is all about thinking ahead of time. It's very, very, very difficult to make decisions on the go, like instantly. Even though this game, we are going to be talking about adaptation, it's always important that you do these camera pans and see, all right, like what's the likelihood of this gank, right? We've already established that it's somewhere that we want to keep an eye on, right, from our game plan. And now the situation comes up where it's like, okay, like what are the positives and negatives of this gank, right? Like a huge positive right now is the position, right? So if I just like draw like positives and negatives here, right? Positive is wave position, right? Another positive is we have really good gank setup. We also have Ignite, right? We also have Ignite. And Diana's HP, Diana's resource, right? Diana health. So I'm writing all these out, you know, like a crazy guy. But these are literally the pieces of information that change something from low percentage or high percentage, right? If this Diana was like full HP sitting in the middle of her wave, if it wasn't pushed up, if the wave wasn't about to crash, you know, this minion's gonna push here, these are gonna come here, and it's gonna meet here. If this was not the case, right? If the wave was instead like here, this gank would go from like right now, I'm just throwing numbers off the top of my head, but maybe this is like an 80% chance we kill, right? Because she sells flash. That's like a negative, for example. Flash, and ward. But actually, we'll talk about this one in a second because we did see Diana ward here, right? So we know also she has no ward from bot side. So, yeah, but that could be a negative, obviously. So right now, all the signs are shining towards this is a good gank, right? For all of these reasons and all of these reasons that, you know, there are not many negative factors. You know, maybe Ivan counter gank, right? Maybe that's a factor as well here. Because obviously I do 3 camps, Ivan does 3 camps, could be here. It's kind of unlikely that he should be here because just from the position that, actually I wouldn't say it's unlikely because it's like, my gank is also pretty telegraphed because I showed on this ward and I'm pathing like this. So I wouldn't say it's completely impossible. But basically what I'm trying to say is this gank is leading towards, yes, high percentage. I always tell you guys, don't gank unless it's like high percentage when it's not your spare tempo, right? And this is not my spare tempo right now because I still have all my bot side camps to clear. So if I don't get a kill here, it's very, very bad. Even if I just get her flash, which in this game, getting mid flash is pretty good, like I said, because the repeat gank is going to be very, very easy, okay? But generally, you don't want to gank for a flash if you haven't cleared all your camps, if it's not your spare tempo. Okay, so let's see what happens now. And as I just go back really quick, yeah, there's the watt here, right? So we also have this piece of information that we know that this is wadded. So as I skip forwards, let's see. So, you know, we're now going to go for the gank. So the fundamentals are now going to be talking about execution. So, you know, it's all well and good that you do all of the macro fundamentals. You know, you can do it all. But if you can't execute and if you can't pull off the micro, you know, the micro and execution is basically half of the game, right? So you need to be able to pull off the execution of the gank. And so as we go in here, I'm leading with E. I definitely could have done a better job here at pinging, because my Galio does go a little bit late, but let's just watch it back and then we'll kind of analyze it. So Ivan ends up being here. I am trying to pair or kind of CC chain with the Galio. Obviously, this is not the way I should have played it, so I definitely mis-microed this, right? And let's talk about how I should have played this gank, right? How should I have played this gank? So when Galio taunts, something that I've also coached recently about Viego, and I've just done it here myself, is you should always be trying to lead with QW whenever you can, because obviously that's the maximum DPS combo that you can have. And I'm telling you guys, these little details like this are going to change outcomes of your game. You may not think it's a big deal, but it is. It is the difference between getting a kill, getting the gold, that gold, snowballing the next fight, you know, etc. So yeah, watching this back, because I can already get in range to Q, right? I should be walking up Q auto, W auto, maximum damage. That maybe would have given us enough damage where he flashes and I flash after him. Because as you can see here, I just don't get... actually, I still do get Q auto. So actually, in this case, we just didn't have enough damage. But yeah, anyway, regardless. All right, so I die. Big thing to take note of here. Die in a flash, right? Die in a flash. Whenever you die like this, right? Next fundamental is when you're just here chilling and you're dead, you don't really want to do what I just did, which is analyze it in extreme detail. You know, you don't want to dwell on a mistake. You want to just think, okay, Ivan's here. What camps has he done? Okay, he's done like blue, red, whatever, right? He's done, he has both, actually, no, he didn't have both buffs. What am I saying? He killed me. Yeah, he had blue buff here, all right? So his red side's up, for example. You want to think only of the plays that are happening in the future, right? You want to immediately think, what's next? That's the question. That's the question I always pose to people when I coach them. Stop dwelling and ask, what's next? Okay, so what's next? Diana has no flash. Ivan's whole bot side is up. Okay, so next round begins. Next round starts. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at what's happening. I'm updating myself on the map state. Ivan's just been killed. And we know his bot side is up. Bot lane is pushing. So I'm just reading out information. Okay, they see me on bot side now. So they see me. So I'm thinking here, it's a little bit, you know, you could think, oh, Ivan died. You know, why are we not invading? It's a little bit risky. Obviously, also, I have no flash. I can't, you know, my tempo is not good enough to where I can actually take anything realistically. If I go for his Raptors here and he meets me here, I'm dead to Diana, right? So, you know, even though I have tempo or slight tempo on Ivan, I think I could get crab here, definitely. You know, this is another fundamental that I always talk about as well. You know, work from back to front. I could have done crap here with my tempo. That's definitely an improvement I should have done. I also think here I can just do blue then crab. Obviously, Ivan's not going to take the crab before I get there or before I see him. So a part of efficiency also works into that. Whereas like I can kind of kite the blue towards the crab, right? Rather than run past the blue, take crab, then go back to blue. It's just more efficient, honestly. So yeah, actually I should just do blue first. Important part about this, right? I'm also panning. Okay. So how I want you guys to think about, you know, awareness, right? The mini map is a means of, it's kind of like a prompt. Okay. So it prompts you to look somewhere with your camera. So for example, icons start clashing to each other. That's a prompt for you to move your camera. You don't need to be like crazy, you know, F keying, you know, going absolutely like, you shouldn't F key if you're not going to actually gain any information from it. You know, you're just doing fundamentals and you're not actually, the point is that we need something from the pan, right? And the prompt gives that, okay? Health bars being low as well. This is also another prompt for you to put your camera here. So once that prompt comes and you put your camera here, that's where you get the next bit of information, right? And same thing as mid, right? I don't want to write out the pros and the cons again. But again, right, the wave position, the health bars are low. We have a Nautilus, we have good gank setup. They have, you know, they're in a position where they could die. And you need to, you know, that you're going to work on this for the rest of your life playing jungle about trying to see what's high percentage or low percentage. This is something, this is a skill you can't just basically teach. You need to, you know, put in the reps. So here, I dodged that next, well, I didn't dodge it. She just kind of missed. But yeah. And another thing about ganking, okay, is you need to know the timing that you gank on, right? So for me here, for example, I'm watching bot. A very important thing is that you need to gank on a wave, right? So if they were just about to kill this minion and it was about to die, I would have missed my chance. They would have pushed the wave and then gone to either ward or base. So also when you gank, you need to know what wave you're going to gank on. So am I going to gank on this wave or am I going to gank on this wave? Is it going to be too late if I gank on this wave? How many camps can I do in this time? These are all calculations that you need to make to have more successful ganks, essentially. And in this case, I think, okay, I can make it before they kill that wave, right? They're trying to push right now. They're trying to push. They're trying to push. They're trying to get out of here. Now I'm, you know, my Nautilus is playing well here. He goes in. And so they couldn't push and get out before I got there. This is also why I'm skipping Scuttle. You know, why do I skip Scuttle here? If I do Scuttle, they're going to be able to get the wave and get out. So that's the timing. I could take blue, but no more. If I went, you know, I could have gone before blue, I guess you could say. Let's see. Could I have gone before? Oh, I got spotted by it. Yeah, I got spotted by the vision. That's why I don't go straight away. Okay, so we go for the gank. We kill the Lulu. All good. Next fundamental, right? The reason why I'm pushing this wave in is same reason as we just saw. Enemy bot wanted to push and crash. Because when you push the wave in and crash it, it gives you a really good reset where the wave will now bounce back into you and you'll collect it. And I'll highlight that when that happens. But deciding when you want to push a wave or not simply comes down to, can your bot lane alone push, for example, this wave before the wave coming out of base comes, right? That's what you're trying to calculate. And since this is a cannon wave, I'm opting to actually help my bot lane push, because if I don't help them push here, you know, even these simple auto attacks, you know, as Lulu, this also helps their tempo, right? Because if I help them push this, they can base straight away, as you can see Nautilus and Kai'Sa are doing now. And even though I lose Scuttle for it, I do still think this is worth it. Because if I hadn't, maybe they couldn't push this before this wave, which is mirrored on the other side, gets here and freezes this here, right? So it's very, very important. This is when to know when to push or not to push. Let's say, for example, this wave, well, actually in this case, you would always push it because your bot lane wants a reset. Let's say, for example, your bot lane just came off of a reset, right? If your bot lane actually had just come off of a reset and you just killed their bot lane, well, then maybe they would rather freeze, right? Because this wave is actually way bigger, right? If your bot lane was fresh off a reset, Kai'Sa may want to freeze this. And obviously this comes down to like what your teammates want to do anyway. You know, they also may not know the right play, but at least it's good for you to know, right? You can actually tell your Kai'Sa here, hey, freeze this, freeze, don't push, don't push, don't push, don't push, because then this wave will come here, it will freeze here. This wave will be bigger than your wave. This wave will kill this wave. Enemy team sad, get denied. So yeah, you kind of gotta know what to do with waves. But that's simply put, that's how it would be. And then of course, if this wasn't a cannon wave, you can leave the wave. You can just let them push it because they can push that wave before it gets in. So yeah, quick wave 101. I see that it's gone. I'm trying to communicate as well. Another fundamental, trying to communicate where Ivan is. Ran out of pings, unfortunately. Happens. Here we go. Okay, pinging Ivan. Hey, he could be mid. I can't really run through. And now, again, next bit of information. Looking at the minimap, I'm seeing my Nautilus move here. This move is making this high percentage because Diana has no flash. Again, wave position. And Nautilus is even making this an even higher percent chance. Now, Ivan is here, so I do still want to kind of wait for my Nautilus as the advantage, right? Unfortunately, Galio, you know, he goes in, gets the solo kill. Well, not unfortunate, but, you know, he goes in anyway. And then we pass by. I think Ivan has no flash here. So I think my W usage this time was good because it gives my Nautilus the ability to land that hook. See, in this case, right? In this case, I don't push this wave because, one, it's kind of going to take me a while, seeing as I also just turned into Ivan. You know, me and Nautilus aren't pushing this wave because it's really, really good for my mid, right? And it's denying Diana, and it's good for my Galio. It gets Galio more XP and gold, and it denies Diana. If I push that wave, Diana actually may even get there on time, to be honest, and get it back. Yeah, she probably would. Yeah, and let's also look at the bot wave, right? So we pushed that bot wave, and look at this. Perfect. Kai'Sa is getting the entire wave, and my Nautilus got tempo to get this mid roam off. So this was just a really, really good sequencing of plays, you know, and wave fundamentals. And so as I go here, I go to this, you know, today I learned, or whenever I played this game, that you cannot tag something as Ivan and then pick it up as Viego. It doesn't work like that. So if you're ever wondering, yeah, you can't do that. Okay, so here's the fundamental again that I said before about working from back to front, right? I want to take the scuttle before I take raptors because it's the camp that Ivan could take as well. So I want to work from like this, basically just because if I take this, he's not going to invade here. However, if I take this, I might go here and I might be dead or whatever, you know? So yeah, always working from back to front is very, very important. Now, again, I'm constantly bullying mid. I'm constantly picking on mid. Because again, no flash, insane gang setup. And this is where you'll kind of see, I will make a mistake, so I'll just play it out. It wasn't a massive mistake, but this is also where, you know, this was a simple mistake as I just wasn't paying attention to my Galio's cooldowns, right? So when he uses his abilities here, ganking mid in general, it's very easy to just walk the opposite direction you're getting ganked from, for example, like this Diana just does. So if I was a little bit more patient here, if I saw Galio use his abilities and then I just like go take raptors and come back, that would have been way, way better. And also just communicating me as well. Like if I communicated here that, I mean, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. This Galio just seems to want to fight all the time. Yeah, communication, watching abilities here. I still think, or I thought that we could kind of chase this Diana down as I could just like kind of E this wall and chase her. But the big learning for me here is that, you know, when someone uses cooldowns, they can't really help you, you know? So, you know, I chase him down here. I really wanted to kill him still because he had no flash. This time I do use Q. Ivan pops up. Okay, we have to just back up. So nothing ends up happening, but you can just see like my idea about, you know, I'm very active this game about ganking, right? And it's not to say like, you know, in League, there's always a best play. It's never like, oh, I'm going to be a ganker this game, or I'm going to be a farmer this game. There's always a best play, and there's always variables involved with how probable or what will get you the most amount of gold. And, you know, a Diana not having flash and me having a Galio is a really, really good way for me to be able to get a lot of kills and a lot of gold. More than what I would get if I was just to farm. Okay, so here, yeah, this is where I learn I can't grab this. I can't be Ivan here. And so this next play is actually, I remember this. This is a little bit about just, you know, having an X factor. You know, it's hard to. This is also a bit about creativity. And I don't want to say that this is not something you can teach. But this is where I'm adapting to information on the fly that Diana wants to take grubs and he wants to go back mid, right? So instead of pathing to my Krugs here, we're doing a little bit of a creative play, and it is necessary, right, to make these kinds of plays, even though sometimes you'll find yourself too far on the creativity, which could lead to inting. And sometimes you're not creative enough where you're just full clearing in your jungle and you're doing nothing and you're watching the game go by. So it's a very fine balancing act. Obviously, again, this is part of being a good or bad jungler. What separates the best junglers in the world from each other and from, like, you know, a diamond player and a challenger player. These are the kinds of plays I think that separate people. That level of creativity. This was a huge point in this game because, you know, not only do we kill Diana, but I'm just getting even further ahead. Now I end up getting grubs for free. I end up using Diana's, you know, abilities, which is a small thing again, but, you know, it speeds me up. It speeds up my ability. So here again, you know, my top lane is getting killed. Mid beast fan. This is where I want to start talking about not overcompensating, not feeling like you need to help anyone, not feeling like you need to do anything more than what's best for you. So you can then translate that lead into skirmishes and fights that you can actually make a difference on. So yeah, I'm never getting off that grubs there. That guy's dead. It is what it is. Play with the hand you've been dealt in the game. You know, you could still lose these games, but I bet you if you play with this level of consistency, there's no way that you won't win more games in whatever elo you are, then you will lose, right? You'll always win more. And so here, you know, we're kind of just, you know, thinking about our base. Obviously now we're thinking about when I'm going to base. The reason I'm pathing, you know, from Raptors upwards is just because, you know, I have 2k gold. I want to get my base off. And there are things to play on the bot side. So yeah, I'm just also another thing is you would never really want to just base with camps when you're next to camps, so to speak. So like after I take this thing here, yeah, I have 1800 gold, right? But you also need to have a certain level of greediness to carry, right? It's not really worth recalling next to a red buff. You may as well just take red Krug's base and then come out on this side stronger with a red buff. It's just more efficient. You're going to have better tempo. So yeah, never recall next to a camp essentially. Unless of course for a very good reason, like, okay, I need to be at Baron. I need to be at Elder. I need to be, obviously it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really correlate as much to mid game, especially for early game. Never recall next to a camp. I also, you know, add smite here. So I'm just using smite, right? Again, about tempo. I'm trying to just get these camps down, spend my gold, come back out on the map and start impacting with my massive lead. So now we're going to start talk about how do I translate this lead without compensating and without losing my agency, right? In this next round. Okay, so we begin. Very, very quick buys as well. A small thing. Know what you're going to buy ahead of time. I'm really terrible at this, to be honest, but try your best to farm, to just being faster, right? Buy quickly. Use your W at a base. Use your E at a base. Tempo, 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 tempo. Get back on the map straight away, right? Even if you have like honestly, even if you have like a less efficient buy, obviously you always want to spend all your gold. But being back on the map, every little second counts. So yeah, it's important. Here I'm trying to follow a play and I realize, no, this is not a high percentage gank, right? This is not, because I'm already too late. I'm already too late to this. So as soon as I see this, you know, just turn around. It's fine. Let them do their own play. Play on your timing. So this is a good example of like, okay, I don't need to just overforce mid. Okay, we get a flash. Nice. That's good. And you know, I don't really have, like, obviously I'm very strong in this game. I don't have Kraken yet. And so this is like, you know, this is when your team can start doing some plays. So I don't like this play, right? I don't like this play at all. Lulu's missing. Ivan's missing. It's really telegraphed. He just showed, my SOP just showed mid. So I'm not actually following this play because I disagree with it. And when that happens, when you have teammates like that and or they disagree with you, you disagree with them. Yeah, it can be challenging. Usually I say that you should try and be on the same page as your team, whether it be a suboptimal play or not. But in this case, this was just like too bad for me to want to follow. And obviously as well, I want to try and translate my lead as soon as I can to get these dragons. It is pretty good for my win con. Hopefully my smolder can carry, which, you know, dragons allow you more time to scale. So, you know, I'm not even following up in this mid play, right? You know, my Nautilus got one shot. My team instantly died, lost, and this is what you don't need to be involved in. This is so important that you don't compensate for your team doing things. Know what the right play is, right? Mute. This is where also like mute all comes in, so you're not influenced by pings, and do your own thing. Know what's right, right? If it was correct for me to go mid here, I'm just gonna review that after the game. I'm not going to like in the game say, oh, my Nautilus pinged me here, that's why I did it. That's like an excuse, and you're not gonna improve by doing that. You need to be accountable for every single decision that you make, because that's gonna lead to you reflecting on the game afterwards and be like, yeah, okay, I should have been mid, or yeah, actually I should have just done dragon here. So bit of a tricky situation I'm in here. I'm having to ult over the wall because the team is just running straight at me. And so obviously this is, you know, this is completely fine. Worth for me. I got a little bit too creative here, I would say. And I'm starting to do the red buff where the enemy team is hunting me down. And this is also where the X factor comes out again. You know, I understand that this is not something that is like teachable. This is where just getting enough reps in, playing the game enough. This is where really the reps show, and just playing the game a lot and understanding how things work come in. I'm not going to say that this is any fundamentals here. This is just me fighting it out, realizing that I have Galio ult, and fighting, because, you know, obviously in a skirmish as well, Galio and Viego are an extremely strong combo. And yeah, we'll just watch it out. You know, you got to make these plays in some games, like I said, are going to win you the game. You're going to be making the difference. So this is me making the difference in this skirmish. This was a huge kind of like play for the game, as we missed that W. This is a very important play that kind of dictated which direction this game was going to go, right? And this is just based on, like, they have a really weak skirmish early. They have Lulu Ivan. We have a Galio. We have a Viego who's really strong. So have that confidence. Have that level of X factor. You know, even like sometimes I just tell people, hey, you're thinking too much, okay? Just turn your brain off a little bit and kind of rely on your hands. And so it's just as important as the theory side of things. As we start coming into the next round now. Okay, so in this case, if we actually watch, right? This time I actually recall next to the blue buff, next to my bot side camps. Why? There's a very good reason. I have 1800 gold this time, but I have Kraken Slayer. All right, so this is a little bit different than the last one. When you first of all, you want to think about the item spikes. You want to think about when you do have big item spikes, Triforce, Kraken, Titanic, whatever. You want to think about basing straight away and getting those items. And another thing here as well is obviously, I don't actually know how far I was thinking in the future here, but obviously the grubs are also spawning. So if I stay here, farm base, I'm going to be maybe a little bit late to this, right? Whereas I can just be on this side early to play for that. Anyway, so next round begins. We are pathing from top to bot. The idea here in my head is I still only really want to play around top. So like, although I am really strong and I could technically make the difference in this grub fight, I also know that Darius is kind of OP into my champion. And grubs are also not really a huge importance in winning this game. It's not like I have some Camille or Fiora. Obviously, grubs are quite good for them. So I'm kind of curious as to what I do here. Okay, I think I just notice that Diana is overextending. So another thing again, another fundamental, when you're mid, if your mid's ever playing like kind of like a roaming mid, right? What's really nice to do is if you're not part of that play, you essentially want to just become the mid and get more farm. So I'm going to farm Raptors here. And even if Diana didn't like go to kill this tower, I would take the mid wave and then I would take my bot camp. So I'm just like getting injected so much more farm because me and Galio are just basically trading jobs. He's becoming the jungler ganking bot. I'm becoming the mid soaking mid and also obviously defending mid the plates. In this case, I think this Diana, yeah, I don't know, didn't expect me, didn't expect my 1v1, kind of just running it down. So yeah, you pick up the free kill, very strong. That's why I can, you know, all of the things that I've done so far in this game allow me to make these kinds of plays where I can solo kill the enemy mid, right? If I wasn't that strong, you know, soloing the enemy mid may not even be possible, or, you know, it may be a lot harder. And as you can see here, I'm taking greediness to the next level. I am having a Galio, right? Obviously, not a champion that overly needs a lot of resources. I'm telling you, put yourself in the driver's seat, okay? Don't care about anyone else. Yeah, you hear people say, oh, like that's the worst mentality ever. It's not. Anyone who says that is coping. Not saying that you need to take this wave in front of Galio's face. No, that's kind of inting. But me pushing this next wave is completely fine because number one, again, I'm denying Diana. Galio is going to come mid and help me get some plates. Yeah, I'm not telling you to be, you know, a really awful teammate by just farming waves in front of people, but I'm just saying put yourself in the driver's seat, okay? Put yourself in the driver's seat, see what you can do, see how much you can impact. Okay, here we go, looking for camps, none are found, unfortunate. Okay, void grubs are gone, that's fine, right? I think I was honestly looking to trade. I think I knew that Ivan and Darius were kind of doing this, so I'm looking to trade bot camps. He's already done them, it's okay. I can see my bot lane basing here, so I'm going to have a little bit of downtime now where I'm just going to farm camps. I'm going to farm camps and wait for my team to come back. No, I'm not. I'm going to fight mid. Which is bad, okay? So I think, you know, again, this is that fine line between should you have downtime or is Diana just a free kill? And again, what happened is my Galio uses all his abilities before I'm there. So Diana does have no flash. We knew that from this thing that happened here. So her having no flash, yeah, this actually is I think this play is correct to go for this rather than farm my bot side. If Ivan is there, we win the 2v2. I just think, again, you know, my Galio uses abilities a bit early. So after this happens, yeah, I lose some time. But here is where I should have just gone back to my bot side camps. Because, yeah, we have no way to actually catch this Diana anymore. And Ivan shows up. We take a 2v2. Still, again, I've turned my brain off a little bit. I'm just fighting for the sake of fighting. Doesn't work out. Okay, I don't die. Good. And as we can see next, I think, remembering back to this point, I think I remember thinking that Ivan put his Daisy there because, like, I was about to be invaded by Darius. So, like, I'm respecting here, even though Darius just showed topside. But yeah, I'm respecting Darius here. Obviously, I was wrong about his whereabouts. But yeah, even in games, let's say Darius was invading me there. Even in games where you're 7-1, you have to kind of drop your ego and just let the red buff go if they decide to do that. Like, that's just what you have to do. It's not worth losing the red buff for your ego. Oh, I'm 7-1. Why should I lose my red? It is what it is. Your small that can go 0-8 sometimes. It sucks. It's frustrating. The game sucks. That's what you kind of sign up for. So immediately so this is a very, very important fundamental here, actually. So when Ivan shows top, right, it's really important that, you know, the fundamental I like to use is kind of, you know, punching back. So he makes a move top. I should just try and make a move bot, whether that's taking his camps, whether that's diving bot. As you can see here, I'm camera panning thinking, can we dive bot, right? Ivan's doing my red, Ivan's ganking top. What can we do on the bot side? It's really, really in tier if you just farm your bot side now. Because Ivan's showing here is a piece of information that you can abuse. His camps, bot dive. These are all things that are more impactful to the outcome of the game than you just saying, oh man, oh this sucks, I lost my red, my top is inting, let me just do my bot side camps. No, turn that into Ivan is top, let's dive bot. Ivan is top, let's take his bot side camps. So as you can see here, bot lane wasn't immediately diveable, so I'm going to take his camps. And I'm pinging, I want the dive. I'm also micromanaging here, right? I'm managing my team. I'm saying, hey, Galio, come here. He ends up just saying mid, I think. Now he's coming. And yeah, we take the free kill on Lulu. Really good punch back. And as you can see, I haven't, you know, I wasn't touching my bot side camps. Also because those camps are already mine, right? I can come back for them. I don't need to take them straight away. I need to take... You need to think to work to take the best thing first. The best thing here is the bot dive. The second best thing is the bot camps. The third best thing is your bot camps. If the dragon was up here, the priority goes bot dive, then dragon, obviously then his camps, but then you may not have enough time for that. There's always a priority of what you should be trying to get. All right. Fundamentals, syncing up. Obviously I have a lot of gold, but syncing up bases with your team is really, really good. So me and my bot lane basing here is super good. I'm also just really, really far from any other camp, so it's not worth staying here. I have 2k gold. Even if I didn't have 2k gold here, even if I just had, like, I don't know, something, 1,000, it's still better to base here because the game is moving at a rate that's kind of fast right now. Obviously, dragon is also spawning, so I want to just spend and get back and sync up my tempo with my Nort and my Kaiser here. So, next objectives, Dragon and Rift Herald are spawning. I'm prioritizing playing for Dragon. I already have one Dragon. Again, I want to play away from this Darius as much as I can. So, I don't want to fight the Rift Herald. So, as you can see, right, I'm going straight past my camps again because there's still things that are better than this thing. Okay, Ashe is potentially a kill for catching this bot wave, and there's still the Dragon. So, even though my Galio died, I know that they're doing this, so I'm trading this. I'm trading this. I'm not doing my camps right now. And yeah, the fundamental uptime, downtime. You may have heard me speak about it, but this is a very, very important fundamental for the mid game. Now, okay, this was a bit unfortunate. I wasn't watching the bot wave, so that's why I missed that kill on Ashe. Okay, mid lane is fighting. I don't really want to fight it, but I realize that it's kind of extending a little bit long. And I also know Ashe isn't there. So this time in this 3v3, I'm actually coming here. Let's see. I actually can't remember what happens here. I think nothing. Yeah, nothing happens. So we don't overcompensate here, right? We don't overcompensate. Again, these situations where you have to decide, is the fight good? Is it bad? Can I get kills here? Can I not? In this case, I should have just done the dragon. I should have known that I was going to be too late. Obviously, I really want to fight because I'm insanely strong. But yeah, what's important here is I should have done dragon. And what was good that I did is I didn't overcompensate. I didn't try to make up for my Kai'Sa dying again because, you know, because I didn't die, right? Or because I didn't compensate, I now get to take mid wave. I now get to take dragon. And yeah, I get to continue. I get to actually, you know, if I was dead there, I lose all my agency essentially. I lose all my agency to win the game. All right. So this should be around now for downtime. Okay, this should be all my camps are up. So, you know, we've talked a lot about uptime and doing things on the map when you can. Even though my team has just got all back on the map here, there are no objectives up. I'm assuming that Rift Herald is gone. Okay, Ivan just shows on Raptors, so I'm going to be clearing to the top side. I'm clearing to the top side. My Nautilus is basing, means downtime. My Galio is pushing out bot and going into the you know, mid downtime. So this is this right here, this situation is downtime. The tempo lines are like this. So uptime is where your tempo lines are synced. Downtime is where your tempo lines are desynced. And downtime you want to farm. Uptime you want to see if you can farm enemy camps, play for objectives, play for vision, try and catch people out on waves. So as soon as Nautilus gets here, I should be looking to now uptime, right? So a good example of uptime, downtime. We're now playing uptime. So we're taking objectives. We're getting vision. And that's all just about syncing with your team. Mostly in this case, you know, important teammates. You know, I'm not really worried too much about syncing my tempo with the Smolder. I'm really thinking about my bot lane because, you know, my bot lane are seeming to be somewhat human. And so here I'm actually taking a base because I do want to play around Galio. I don't really want to rift top again into the Darius Ivan combo. Still extremely scary. So my play here is, okay, if Diana is bot, that means Darius is top. I want to play away from Darius. I want to play into Diana. I want to try and kill Diana. I want to try and play now for these towers here. So that's why I think I reset immediately. Diana again, greedy. So you got to try and punish these guys who are greeding on waves. I don't know what my mechanics were here. I did buffer that Ash ult though. That was pretty insane. If I died there, that would have been absolutely, absolutely tragic. But again here, I'm going to be taking the next wave as well. Again, I'm playing super, super greedy, right? I'm not like Smolder dies at top again. Galio dies bot, right? You guys have seen this kind of game before. And what you're able to do in these games is like, okay, my Galio died, but I can take his wave. My Smolder died, but Ivan ganked top, so I can like take his Krugs, right? Like there's always something that you could turn around instead of thinking, man, my team suck, my team is so bad. And you may still lose this game, right? And like I said before, you may still lose this game, but you can win some of them. You can win some of these games that look completely doomed. And it's also just good for your, you know, as a player, to treat every game like you can improve from it. All right. So this right here, like for uptime, this is what you really want to be doing. So why did I go to like Raptors instead of Gromp? Okay, this is really, really important. In uptime, you want to be doing things that's in proximity to where you think there's going to be a fight. Which is again, playing on your team's tempo line. You know, instead of me doing Gromp, I'm doing Raptors, which is much closer to this tempo line. So what that allows me to do is be close enough to if something happens like this. And so basically all I'm doing is I'm doing the Raptors, and then while I see the fight, right, I'm not going to be always the one to initiate. As you can see, I'm never actually initiating many things in this game. I'm mostly farming and reacting. Farm, react, farm, react, farm, react. And this is another mindset thing that you need to know. You need to not say, oh, I'm really, really strong, I'm going to start the fight. No. Okay, depending on what champion you play, obviously. When you're playing a carry, you do not want to be the one to start the fight unless it's obviously really, really good. You want to let other people take the focus, take the kind of distraction, come in, clean up, reset. You know, Viego identity wants to get a reset. Let other people start it for you. So here again, this is, in this round, we're about to be uptime. In this case, I think I'm trying to Rift Herald topside to trade the next dragon. Okay, but dragon is not even spawning. Let me go back real quick. I think I was just looking at my Krogs and I ended up just being on this side of the map. You know, hovering my smolder is not actually too bad, but I'm not going to be looking to try and like kill Darius, right? I'm going to be just taking the camps and getting out. Yeah, I think I wanted to go topside to Rift Herald top to trade dragon, right? Because in my head, I think that this game continuing or going for longer is actually better for us. So yeah, I'm trying to use Rift Herald. I'm trying to trade. It is uptime here, right? So we are looking to, you know, when you have Rift, you want to be trying to use it wherever the enemies are not. As soon as I see my not base here, right? So it was uptime, right? So these kinds of things will happen in your games. Like randomly your Nautilus or someone will just randomly lose their mines. Not saying Nautilus lost his mine here, but if something like this happens, it's fine. Just go farm a camp. Wait for everyone to sync up again. Enemy team starting Baron. I kind of sniffed this out because they all just disappeared on the top side randomly. I immediately summon Rift Herald because Rift Herald's going to do some work here mid while they're all like kind of caught off top side. And again, right, I'm not trying to overforce on them here. Obviously I don't want to be the one going in first either, but I realized, hey, like enemy team is all on Baron side. That's a mistake. Them trying to start Baron here is a mistake. Now we can get mid tower. So even when I started here, I immediately am just like cutting out. And so yeah, now the game just becomes about team fighting. Viego as his identity, you really just want to get a reset. You want to kind of play front to back. So as soon as someone goes in here, I'm waiting out like the Darius. We get a reset. Immediately when we get a reset, we're just resetting. And yeah, see, this is where, right? So you've held your composure this entire game. You've held your composure. You've held your composure. You haven't overcompensated. You're really, really strong, but you're still not like, you know, just trying to make up something. And then like the thing that will happen is a fight that is actually a good fight will end up happening. And that's where you make the difference, basically. And yeah, so we wipe them. This is obviously a really another really huge kind of like turning point in the game. The game was on a knife's edge, but that is the point of, that's essentially carrying the game. You are making the difference. That's basically what carrying is. So fundamentals allows you to put yourself in that position to carry, or it puts you in a position to carry or have an impact, but you still have to have an impact. You still have to actually perform the micro. And so I think I've talked about everything that I've wanted to. You know, I'm even being vocal. I'm really trying to win this game, I guess. Which you should. You should always be locked in. And, you know, I'm typing wait Kaiser. We're trying to stall. I think the rest of this game is just team fighting and uptime, downtime. That's basically all it is in the late game and the mid game. Again, the way I want to play the fight is front to back. This was Soul, so we really want to be playing to actually finish the dragon. Was it Soul? Maybe it was third dragon. Yeah, I think it was third dragon. A little bit, you know, it's not like I'm completely, actually that was just a, let me see again actually. Was this a good play or was it not a good play? I think it was just a miscalculation, yeah. I think if that stun landed, he was probably dead. That's all I'm going to say. So a little, you know, you can see I'm a little bit still, you know, I'm a little bit like, you know, that was unnecessary. Obviously, it could have landed and it could have worked, but it was quite unnecessary. You know, yeah, it's a very, it's a middle ground, right? It's a middle ground of making plays X factor and not losing your mind. Okay, good example here of downtime, right? So in this case, I don't want to base with my team. I want to actually. So this is a good example of when it's downtime. you can choose to farm instead of base. So here, while I'm waiting for my team to kind of like get back on the map, I'm going to do like 1 or 2 camps. So I do red here. I skip raptors because now, again, look at the tempo line. It's uptime. Right, you guys know the drill. Uptime, tempo lines are synced. We also have Baron. So right now, we really just want to push. See what I'm doing right now? Pushing mid, not going back to camps. It's not time to farm camps. It's time to pressure the map, especially when you have Baron. You must prioritize pushing waves over everything. You know, I could have made the decision to either push mid or play for this fight. I end up coming to the fight. But yeah, as you can see, because I pushed mid, I was in range for this. And I also had the option of also kind of like going mid and just pushing. But yeah, I think this is basically concluding this game. You know, I'm just going to be repeating myself, uptime, downtime, as you can see here. Again, I take camps here, right? So this is downtime. Downtime, taking camps. I do have 2k gold, so I end up basing, sync up with my Nautilus. Immediately play uptime again, so I'm not trying to do Krugs here. I'm not trying to like do bot side camps. I'm just playing uptime again. I'm being in position here. Okay, not, you know, not going in. The enemy team is full matching, so we're just playing for vision. Vision, vision, vision. I think we actually end up getting wiped here. Yeah, we end up getting wiped. Their comp kind of comes online, so I guess we kind of didn't get... I guess we don't scale. Like, my smolder is still useless. I survived, though. So I realized that the fight was bad. And I'm just going to skip forwards to, you know, watch one more fight or something. I kind of want to conclude this so it's not like an hour-long video. It's just basically repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay, let's watch this fight. Something interesting happened here. That was kind of an interesting flash. Let me see if I make it work. Bad mechanics. And I'm usually not this vocal, so I'm pretty surprised, you know, I'm saying like Cam Baron and this kind of thing. And yeah, let's just kind of skip to the end. Yeah, I make a call. So, you know, lastly, I guess the last point of this video is that you can be an IGL as well. You can really IGL your team to victory because this was kind of like the game-winning play. Me saying that, you know, we can Baron. And tell me we win here. This game was way longer than we thought. And we win here. I think. Maybe we don't. No, we don't. It still continues. And lastly, you will have games like this where it can really go the distance, even though you're really, really fed. You'll still have games like this that can go the distance. What's important is that you don't try and win too hard as well. Lastly, I know that's a very hard thing to do, but simply choking your enemy out and winning eventually can still, it is kind of like the right mindset you should have. You should have the okay, I'm not trying to win too hard, because when you try and win too hard, you make mistakes. Yeah, anyway. All right, I think this is going to conclude it. Surely we end here. We do. If you learned anything from this video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, I'll look to try and answer them as best as I can. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.